Hey, Paige, can you hear us?
Yeah, and
Okay,
you're
great.
live.
Oh, thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Paige. Appreciate you.
I'm glad I
So,
gave you a heads up.
yes, I am glad. Gotta love technology. So, thank you so much. I'm excited for, let me fix the camera here. Super excited. I'm sorry we're running a few minutes behind today as we had me, had some technical issues. But I'm actually in Oklahoma City this week, and I'm really excited to announce we have a top producing team, as you may have heard from our Facebook Live 2 weeks ago, the Levinson real estate team, as well as brokerage that has joined us. And now one of their top producing agents, Miss Rhonda Ford, is joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, my pleasure. No, I'm excited because Rhonda, I know that we've known each other, for a few years, but we've gotten to know each other a lot better over the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
So I'm just excited for everyone. The point of Winners Wednesday is for agents to really learn from other top producing agents what the keys to your success have been. But let's kind of take it a step back and tell us how you originally got into real estate and how long you've been licensed.
Oh, goodness, how I got into real estate. So we met Tara and Peter when we were selling our very first house.
Oh, wow.
And
So Tara and Peter Levinson's the team leaders.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the Levinsons. And so I met Tara, and if you know Tara, you kind of fall in love with her personality. And so that's exactly what happened. You hang out with her and you want to be around her. And so after a couple of times of hanging out, she's like, you would be a really good real estate agent. And I was like, no, I work in the corporate world. I'm semi happy doing this, make good money. And she's like, no, really, like you should really consider it. So I did. And Tara brought us on. My husband's also on the team. He actually joined first. And then I started a few years later.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how was that transition? This is a great topic. So for somebody that's watching and maybe a little scared to make that leap from corporate world to real estate and being an entrepreneur, I mean, what did that transition look like for you?
I think being in the corporate world really, really helped me a lot. You have to have a set schedule in real estate. I think a lot of people have a misconception of, I'm gonna have my own hours. I'm gonna do whatever I want. And
Surprise.
And if you've been in real estate for any amount of time,
Right.
you know that that's not the case at all. But I think staying focused and time blocking and making sure that you are allowing you to control your day. That's what I think it takes to, first of all, succeed in real estate, but really anything you do as an entrepreneur is making sure you're focused, you have your goals, and then are executing those goals on a daily basis.
That's awesome. And you might have said this. So how long have you been licensed?
The very first time I was licensed was in 1999.
Oh, wow.
So I was a child. I was like 5 back then, right? I have had my real estate license most recently since 2015, and that's when I started on the team.
Oh, that's awesome. Great. So how is your, I know, you've had a great production year. So what would you say has been the key to your success? And obviously being one of the top producers on the team individually, what's been the key to your success?
One of the big things that Tara and Peter focus on our team is goal tracking, goal setting and goal tracking. And a couple of years ago, if you would have asked me if I would have been tracking my goals, on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, I would have been like, I don't have time for that. But I think when you realize what you're executing in a day and in a week and in a month, that's what takes you back to being able to accomplish whatever you're wanting to accomplish. Right. So I think for production wise, I think it's time blocking, and I think it's making sure you're tracking your goals for sure.
I love that. And I'm actually going to scoot this a little closer here and just make sure we don't have it. Guys, if you're watching this and you have any questions for Rhonda, please go ahead and comment. We'd love to get to your questions. But, we had the EXP convention last week. And one of the things that I've heard is it's not just time blocking, but more importantly, priority blocking. Right. Because you can time block all day long, but
I can time block to be on TikTok, or I can time block to be on Facebook.
Right. That's awesome. Well, great. So again, if you've got any questions for Rhonda, please go ahead and comment. We'll try to get to your questions. So time blocking and revisiting your goals every day, which by the way, that I love. I don't know if you've watched any of our podcasts before, but Hamudi and I talk about that.
Really?
About,
That's awesome.
some people revisit their goals quarterly or annually. We have what we call meeting of the minds. You saw our Arabic coffee here in the office. We have our coffee in the morning and we literally revisit our goals every day, which I think is important, and hold each other accountable. So what does that look like for you, and how have they taught you to revisit your goals on a regular basis?
I think it's important for anyone getting into real estate, or even if you've been in real estate for a while, to kind of take a step back and see, are you where you want to be and where do you want to be?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of where Tara and Peter have really helped my husband, Sean, and I with our goal tracking is, where do you want to be in a year? Where do you want to be in 5 years? And then back it up.
So reverse engineer.
That's right. So what do we need to do today to get to where we're going?
Mm-hmm.
And, to be able to have milestone goals, and, obviously the point of those goals is to accomplish them, weekly or yearly or whatever you have your time schedule on.
Mm-hmm.
And then if not, what do you need to do to change to get there? Because if you're just doing the same thing over and over again and being like, man, I wish I was accomplishing that goal.
Right.
You're not really going to get anywhere. But going back and doing those tasks, that'll get you where you want to be.
That's awesome. So a lot of great advice. Goals is to revisit your goals every single day, and then reverse engineer. So it's like, where are you now? Where do you want to be? I'm trying to make sure I'm staying in the camera here. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? And then reverse engineer. So then you can figure out what daily tasks that you need to be doing. So it's a lot of great, awesome advice. And then so the other thing is, so you and Sean work kind of as a team, and then I know you've brought on other agents previously to the brokerage. At what point did you say, I wanted to start expanding my team?
I think when you love what you do, you don't really consider it a job. It's more of talking to people and enjoying what you're talking about. And I think everyone that we've brought on have been clients, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. So you just saw something in them and said, you should get into real estate, like Tara did for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. And we'll have people reach out to us, and you just want to, when you love something, you just want to share it. So that's really kind of like been our mindset and how we attract agents like that.
I love that. I love that. So what is it, is there a certain, personality trait or characteristic that you're looking for that you say, hey, come join the team, you would be a really good fit?
Yeah. So I have a funny story about that. If someone reaches out to us and they're like, hey, we're interested in getting into real estate, I'm like, great. Call me next week and let's set up a time. I don't immediately set up a meeting, right? Because I want to see if they're going to follow up, and I want to see how aggressive they are to follow up. I want to see if it's what they really want. Right. Because sometimes I'll hear, oh, well, I didn't hear back from you in a week. Because sometimes I purposely won't answer back because I want to see how aggressive they are to respond back, because usually that is like the tenacity that you want in real estate. Like, you just don't give up. Like, if you want something, you go for it. You don't give up. So that's definitely an important characteristic that we look for.
Oh no, I couldn't agree more. I was actually, last week I was in an Uber, and the Uber driver, she was talking about how she was kind of between careers and she'd considered real estate. And so we started talking. She's like, oh, this is divine intervention. It's meant to be, and took my Facebook information. I was like, hey, give me a call. Same thing. And I still haven't heard from her, by the way. So I'm like, oh, that's, telltale. I mean, she might still reach out, but
at that point, you just don't want it enough.
Right.
I feel like maybe.
Exactly. Right. I mean, and no, I couldn't agree more. So you built out a team, top producing agent within the team, and then you guys have recently shifted, 180 and switched over and joined and affiliated yourselves with eXp Realty. What were some of those decisions? What did that look like?
I think the most important thing to us is being able to build a legacy for our kiddos. We want our kiddos to be proud of what we do. We want them to be proud of us. Mm-hmm. Our son's been in real estate a little bit, and nice. I know our daughter wants to be in real estate. So I want to create something that's long-term for them, and for them to be able to be proud of what we're doing.
I love that. So it's all about building legacy, which is interesting. We just rebranded our group, the Legacy Builders, as far as like our training platform. So, building legacy. So you guys, like I said, top producing team, had the brokerage, really top of your game, did this 180. I mean, what are some of your future goals? I mean, where are we going to see Rhonda and Sean over the next few years?
We've talked about this a lot, because we talk about our goals daily. Sean and I, we are both really passionate about helping people, and especially helping new agents into the market, or maybe agents that have become stagnant. So we are going to be focusing heavily on the coaching aspect and mentoring. That's something that I think is very close to both of our hearts.
Right.
And so I'm super excited and really looking forward to being able to do that through this platform. Because, before we had a little bit of a smaller platform, but to be able to help more people, I think really that's what it's all about.
Right. Well, now you're going to have a global reach, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, and that reminds me, you guys did like a new agent boot camp not too long ago.
We did.
So what are some of the things, for maybe somebody that's watching, whether they're live or maybe a replay, what is some of the advice that you have for somebody newer, or like you said, somebody that might be a little stale? I think right now with the market shift, some people are reevaluating their business. So what advice do you have for them?
The one, if you were to say you could only give them one, because there's so much, right? I mean, our class is 4 hour. Our new agent boot camp class is 4 hours, and even then, you feel like you don't really, give all that you can. But if you were to ask me one thing, I would say time blocking and goal setting. Okay, so two things. Those are, I know, and I've said that before, but those two things are so important to be able to. What is your goal? How, you need to set your goals. How are you going to track them? And then how are you, in order to do that, you have to time block. I mean, you have to put time on your own calendar for things that you want to get done during the day. Without time blocking, you're just kind of floating around, and maybe you're making calls, and maybe you're showing houses, and maybe you have a doctor's appointment. You know what I mean? There are, your day should look very similar to the day before if you're wanting to have a successful career, really in anything.
I love that. So do you mind me asking, what does a typical day look like for you? I'm sure there's some prospecting involved. You said showing. What does that look like?
Yes. So I usually get up in between 6:30 and 7:30. So I'm not a very early riser.
You're not a 4 or 5.
No,
I'm not either. By the way.
No, that's
whenever it's
catch me.
In order to be a millionaire, you got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I'm good, and I think I'm doing okay. So.
I think so too. Get up. I make a shake every morning, or I will go to a shake place in Edmond.
Start out with some vitamins.
Yep, gotta get that going. I will usually follow up on anything that I've had the night before come up. So if I have any clients that have reached out overnight, that's usually from 9 to 10. We do our lead gen from 10 to 1 with a lunch break in between. And then another afternoon is usually following up on anything else that has come up. And then we'll spend some time. So the morning is for phone calls and the afternoon is for texting and emails. Okay. So we usually try to do both of those. And then we try to reach out to 10 previous clients every day.
I love that. So you prospect every single day, right? And I think that's really important. And that's where a lot of real estate agents get stuck, is they ride that roller coaster because they get busy, right? And they start having deals under contract, and then they stop prospecting, and then they close the deals. And
that's right. And then
it just is endless cycle.
And then where are you? You have no business.
You're unemployed again, and you got to start the process all over again.
That's right.
That's awesome. No, I really appreciate you, Rhonda, jumping in on this. And I'm excited for you guys are still making that transition, and the things, I know all the things that you guys are planning in order to add more value to real estate agents, which I think is incredibly important and needed, especially right now. And somebody said, we've got Shay said, good advice. So thank you so much for the shout out. And before we wrap up here, like I said, if you've got any questions for Rhonda, please feel free to go ahead and comment, and we'll try to get to it. But, for agents that are watching this, as I mentioned, whether they're live or replay, and they're like, you're working with agents now worldwide, right? So if they'd like to learn from you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
You can call me on my cell phone, 405-821-8613, or shoot me an email, Rhonda@levinsonteam.com, Rhonda with an H. But yeah, and I mean, you mentioned international and global a few times. that's one of the things that Sean and I are also really excited about, is being able to, we have our local market where we learn from, but being able to learn from other markets like that, that's really exciting.
That's awesome. No, I think that's key. Collaboration is key, right?
Yeah,
so you
absolutely.
can't climb the mountain by yourself.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you for joining me on this
Thank
Winners
you.
Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
We'll definitely continue to have them, and you'll see a lot more of this team and Rhonda and her husband Sean. But we just wanted to get on here as they're making the transition. They're very new to EXP, but they've got a lot of exciting things in the works. So I definitely recommend, like I said, if you're whether a new agent or an agent that's maybe reevaluating your goals and you want to look at what the time blocking and the goal setting and might need a little bit of accountability and coaching there, then definitely reach out to Rhonda. So thank you so much. I appreciate you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks.